Over the last few weeks, I've had some concern that we were on the edge of a stock market crash or correction. This week, we took another step toward that, and in this video, I'm going to explain what that is, do my analysis of the overall market, and then look at the trade of the week as we always do. But let's dive into this first question. Are we on the edge of a crash? And one of the things that I teach here regularly, if you're watching these videos each week, you'll know that I'm always concerned about breaks of upward trend lines for the overall market, particularly on the 3-year weekly time frame. Now, those sorts of breaks are even worse when there's a falling top. Well, is this the signal for a stock market crash? Let's take a look at the chart of the S&P 500, and what you can see is that we have in fact broken this upward trend line right here this week. Now, along the way, we had little breaks to the downside, but it was never breaking the upward trend line. If we go back to this long upward trend over here, same thing. We'd have little pullbacks to the trend line, little pullbacks, but we never broke until right there. And then what happened from that was a fairly significant sell-off. And we have now done something similar. The only difference between what we have now and what we had before is the market had really lost momentum before it broke down. We had this double top, and typically crashes come after there is the formation of a falling top. Now, not always, but I do think that it's not the worst signal, the fact that we've broken this upward trend line, but it is one that deserves some concern. And so going into next week, I think we need to see the market bounce back. If it fails to bounce back, if it starts to gather more momentum, breaking through the lows of this past week, then I think we should get quite defensive. Now, you can make money from this. You can look at inverse exchange traded funds, but be careful with the leveraged ones because they lose value over time, whether the market is up or down, because of how they're rebalanced every day. This is called time value decay. You can look on YouTube for time value decay of leveraged ETFs, and you'll have someone explain that to you. So anyway, when you're buying these leveraged ETFs, be careful about time value decay. They're short-term trading vehicles. The other way that you can make money from a crash is, of course, through the volatility exchange traded funds, the VIX. So UVXY is probably my favorite. It's the most liquid, and it typically will go up when the market goes down. There's also inverse ETFs on individual stocks. You can get an inverse for NVIDIA, for Tesla, for Apple. They're all designed and available as sort of derivatives to trade. So you can also just sit in cash and wait for the market to get better. And don't despair, because if we do get a crash, realize that it's one of the best things for the stock market. Out of crashes come some of the best, hottest markets. And we've seen it over and over again. We had a great market after the tariff crash that we had early this year. And if we go into the end of the year with some weakness, that could set up for a great rally after that. All right, so let's get into this week's normal market analysis. We're going to jump into my website, stockscores.com. All of this stuff that I'm going to show you, looking at charts and that sort of thing, is free. And another thing that's free is my free weekly email newsletter. I encourage everyone to sign up for that. I don't send you a bunch of spam or garbage. It's just some stock picks every week and some general lessons about the stock market. So let's go back to the S&P 500. And I'm going to first show you here the daily. And there you see a little falling top. Remember I said on the weekly we didn't see that. But on the daily we do have it. And we are breaking this upward trend line. So there's a pretty good chance we're going to see some more weakness because of that. Again, if we can hold this support, this area right here that we bounced off of twice, that would be the saving grace for the market. But if that fails to happen, then I think caution is warranted. The NASDAQ is pretty similar. QQQ is the symbol there. You can see also that it has broken its upward trend line from a little falling top. We tried to reverse on Thursday, failed to do so, moved down from the market. That was after NVIDIA's earnings, and it couldn't hold the gains. So that means people are taking profits on strength. Let's take a look at the IWM, which is our small cap market, and it fared a little better at the end of the week, but it still has already broken its upward trend line and is building falling tops. So we're definitely in a sort of short-term bearish market. If we go to the 1-month chart, you can see over the last month, we've generally been grinding our way lower and with quite a bit of volatility, so that shows uncertainty. Let's jump to the Canadian market now. T.XIU is the symbol. And you can see the Canadian market has gone sideways for almost 2 months now, at least 6 weeks, after breaking that upward trend line. It hasn't broken down through this floor, so if we start to see a move down through that floor, that is a negative signal for the overall market. So we'll watch for that as well. Right now it's sort of a cautionary note on the Canadian market. On gold, we had that parabolic trend. You'll know that I went bearish on the market when we broke that parabolic trend, and we've built this falling top now. If we start to move down through this floor, breaking down from a falling top, then more weakness is likely. For now, we're just sort of building a sideways pattern, which is not terrible given the gains that the market has made. I'm going to take a look at oil next. USO is the symbol, and then we'll take a look at the currencies. So here you see oil is moving lower and not, looking great. However, I see a lot of strength in oil stocks, particularly in the Canadian oil stocks. And I think it's a case of moving to safety. So, there's some of these Canadian stocks that have really strong yields. This is one of my favorites, 8.3% yield and a fairly healthy chart. It's been sideways the last month and a half, but there are others. For example, CNQ is a Canadian oil and gas company that's breaking out to new highs. Doesn't have as strong a yield, 4.9%, but also trying to break through highs. So I think that there's some opportunity in some of these energy names, not because oil is doing well, but because they're just relatively cheap compared to the rest of the market. All right, now let's take a look at that US dollar chart. And you can see the bottoms are rising from left to right, and so that is a sign of optimism. And the US dollar holding up pretty well, probably because interest rates not expected to be lowered as much in the US, and that makes US debt a little more attractive. Let's jump, before we look at that bond market chart, let's take a look at Bitcoin. It's having a tough time ever since it broke down from a falling top. So here was an upward trend line, high, falling top, breakdown. You'll know that I went bearish on Bitcoin in that time area because the momentum was gathering to the downside. The 3-year chart has also broken its upward trend line. And so I think Bitcoin in a bit of trouble. It's getting a little oversold, so it probably can bounce back a little bit, but until it breaks the downward trend line from a rising bottom, I recommend a fair bit of caution on Bitcoin. So my ratings then, you'll see short-term bearish on all of the US markets, long-term neutral still, Canadian neutral on both time frames, the same for gold and oil, US dollar bullish on both time frames, Bitcoin bearish, long-term neutral, and bonds bearish, long-term neutral. We didn't look at the bond market chart, so let's quickly do that. TLT is the symbol. And there you can see, if we look at the 1-month chart, we've generally got falling tops. That's why I'm short-term bearish. On the 3-year chart, it's still in this long-term downward trend. It hasn't been able to break that trend line. It is trying to build a little rising bottom, and it's essentially been sideways for most of this year. And so it's not terrible, but it's not really a market that's moving up, which means interest rates are not moving down. All right, now let's take a look at the trade of the week. This is an example of a stock that we traded during our active live service, which is available on Stockscores.com. You can learn more about that, about how to be an active trader member of Stockscores by going to the website. Let's jump into this chart. This is ANVS, and we found this one early in the day on the 17th of November when it started to break from low volatility right here. You can see these pink and yellow dots. That's my indicator called an action candle indicator. And it highlights stocks that are attracting buyers, and usually that's a good touch-off point for a move to the upside. Now I love to buy pullback, so there was our pullback and a break of pullback, which is the one that we called out, and then another one subsequent to that here, and then a breakout from through resistance from optimism there. So a lot of chances to get in on this stock. And you can see it made a nice run before breaking the upward trend line right there. That was our sell signal for a pretty good gain in this stock market where we don't see a lot of buying opportunities, but the ones that you focus on that have abnormal trading action, typically lower float, lower market cap stocks, they can still make big gains like this, even in a market that's feeling a little shaky. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this week's Market Minutes. If so, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. Let me know, do you think we're on the edge of a crash, or is this just a little pullback in the long-term upward trend? Love to see your comments on that. And as always, trade well.